Attention gamers. When I heard about Riot's decision to charge $500 for a skin in their game, which resulted in the community revolting, Faker getting cancelled on Twitter for something that he probably had no say in, and the ban Ari movement skyrocketing her ban rate, I thought back to a simpler time before my life got consumed by this piss pit of a game when I used to make mobile apps. My games were all designed to chase that Flappy Bird fame, but with a fraction of its downloads I had to resort to other means to make money, which is when I came up with the idea on one of my games to release a character that was $1,000 to unlock. I figured if just one idiot buys this it will make it super worth, and so I waited, and after weeks you know what happened? Nothing, because that would be stupid as shit, but Riot seems to have adopted the same moronic business strategy that my 17-year-old self cooked up, and there's actual idiots who are actually buying this skin. In my last silver elo game the enemy support had this skin, so today's video I'd like to show how they were treated, but also investigate if they are a one trick or just a loser with deep pockets who barely plays Ari and feeds so much you'd think they were competing with Factor. Now, to understand the context of that joke, Factor is a ready-to-eat meal delivery service with the freshest chef-crafted diet-friendly meals on the market. It's the most affordable way to be lazy while maintain a diet that has the proper macronutrients balance to grow a six-pack, whereas without it, I'd have my own parking spot at McDonald's. It's super convenient to use. You just head to their website, select which type of meals you'd like and how many a week, select the dank delish meals you want, and apply a dope YouTuber's code, and bam, they get delivered to your door ready to be beamed up and eaten in less time than it takes to get into a game. Hell, Factor could feed you for a whole year for the price of one Ari skin, and using my link below or this QR code and you'll get 50% off your first box and then 20% off the following 4 boxes. So get your gut on track with Factor. Thank them for sponsoring this video, and let's get into their top feeding competitor, Ari's games. So the game starts and I'm 1, so shocked that a silver player would buy this, and 2, so underwhelmed with how average it looks that I have to ask if it is indeed the break the bank version that I have to ask. As for that $500, I'd expect this thing to last hit for me. Spam emotes when the enemy jungler is near and massage my ball sack when I play, but it doesn't seem to do any of that, and as a proud troll pick myself, my entire objective this game was to ruin Miss Moneybags' day. The first encounter went well as we kept her more frozen than her credit card company when they saw half a grand be shipped out to China. As you see, the world first $500 skin Lysandra passive. I can't resist adding some color commentary in chat as we catch her trying to pull a quick one on us from the river, so I herd her like a dog back to lane, and even though we make it clear that we will be tattooing that expensive ass if she paths back to lane this way, people who buy that skin can't process logic, so she does anyways and gets pancaked. It's then revealed that the problem in this situation is actually in her ADC, who realizes he's one of those gamer girl bathwater collecting simps who purchased this for his girlfriend, which aside from being pathetic also seems counterproductive, as I would never want to incentivize this hoe to support for me again after seeing her gameplay. But to each simp his own. All it meant was that the next time these losers have to budget because of their spending habits and share one ice cube between the two of them, I can do a little icy claw teleport in and make the counting Dracula pay for his sins as his gold digger leaves him out to dry. But me and my Alaskan Falcon weren't just going to sit by and let this bank fraud fox go unharassed, so we let her think she can slip a 20 to her tower and it will protect her, but unfortunately you can't pay to not be shit at this game, so she dies again. Even when she is not in my lane, she's quick to advertise herself as the worst player in the lobby, as it's baffling to me that Riot's target audience with this Hall of Legends Faker bullshit is casual kids who don't even know what her ult does. All while my own inability to afford the skin for myself is being projected by an endless stream of messages in all chat while pitching a tent in the enemy jungle, knowing that hoe normally pays other people to ward for her, so the genocide of the top 1% continues. Meanwhile, the bitch's benefactor himself is over here in chat claiming conspiracy theories about how in silver elo his jungler is win trading, as if that doesn't fit his prissy persona perfectly. All while the frozen fuckboys are taking their talents to the mid beach to make this cover band a traveling act, and the first hit single we played for their mid was called Victor Without a Victory, which knocked him dead if I'm being honest. But don't worry, League of Legends community, I kept my eye on the prize for all of us, and that prize was to single out this Ari every single time I saw her, to make sure that no matter how much she paid, she would not be playing the game. I would track her movements, guessing where she would be, lurking in the shadows, all with the goal of bullying the trust fund baby and sending a message to the world that when the ban Ari movement fails, the Camp Ari movement begins. Which is then of course followed up with me earning the chat ban that Riot eventually gave me, because this kind of banter is the problem with League of Legends after all. But who cares, we had a job to do, and that was to give two shits about who is dead or what objectives are up, and to put my frozen foot less ass on the line every time I saw that fox, to make sure that she couldn't enjoy the colors of her skin if her screen was always black and white, and once she was dead there's no point in showing the rest of that insane 1v3, right? Their team's Butterfree does try to engage, but considering the fully financed fox is about as useful as a chocolate teapot, it ended up looking like an embarrassing fail that sure some incompetent player ignorant to the reasons why win trading would be impossible in this Goldie low game to make a comment like this. As the memes continue, as a 13 death Cyan mid single-handedly carries my team to victory. But my questions for this Ari weren't over. Surely a Giga Chad Lissandra ADC with her number was going to make her look like wet trash, but would this always be the case? A little investigating revealed that this bitch barely even plays Ari, and when she does it looks just as bad as this one, so let's get a full feature of the fox for game 2. This starts with the ceremonial silver bullshit of trying to cheese a kill by stacking nuts to butts in a warded bush with high hopes of that fat first blood, only for that pipe dream to need a plumber but not to fear. Our brainless Master Yi was here, and his idea to execute a flawless level 4 tower dive came up short, which started this game out with this Ari feeling truly immortalized for the small price of a cruise vacation. This insane display of mechanical skill on her part can only last for so long, as a minute later she deep throats a morgue bind like it's a lukewarm hot dog in front of a young Joey Chestnut before showing off her spectacular death animation. But it's not all bad, as they eventually receive a gank from a colorful caribou rocking a skin that compared to Ari's I would say is also $500. Oh just kidding, it's like 10. It's so hard to tell these skins apart these days, which I'm sure was the goal of the design team when they decided to make one at a 500% markup. But hey, our fox is flying high knowing that she just set up a kill and there's nothing that's gonna rain on her parade. That is until her response to being ganked is to dash into danger, whiff a Valentine, and then proceed to be a pretty piss stain on the rift. I'm sorry, I'm letting my bias towards people who buy this bullshit get the better of me, as this video is supposed to serve as a nature documentary into understanding this types of people, so we must stick to the facts, like how in the next battle Ari dashes into the fight, then Ari throws her Q at absolutely nothing, then Ari fails to dodge an important skill shot, then Ari dies like a dog. A few minutes later and you see our pragmatic protagonist in a situation where resetting is a good idea, but anyone with that skin is obviously a greedy goblin, so we see her step out just to reveal to the sped Jedi that she is indeed still in lane and just begging to be given directions back to base, a tale as old as time, the damsel in distress and the elo inflated Master Yi player saying hells to the yeah over free gold. She then opts to rotate mid, show the world how beautiful this skin's skill shots are when they don't hit their target, so naturally her little gank isn't effective when it can't be buffed by her bank, and then when the backups arrive from the enemy team, I'm thinking we get a little glimpse of some super sussienting behavior out of Riot's perfect customer. She continues her endless pursuit of finding the missing brain cells she was born without, as her charms are being fired into the wrong zip codes when she tries, as each encounter all her pretty pixels are being put to work to run away from fights, only to position exactly like someone who throws money at all their problems only to die again. And it always amazes me how anyone can turbo feed on a champ that has 4 flashes every 50 seconds, but leave it to Beaver in this one, as we see her flying around the map, shiny nickels falling out of her silver spoon privileged asshole as she continues to feed. The enemy unsurprisingly is swiping down towers like this. Ari swipes her credit card, but she's down to prove that there's more to her pretty face than what's been paid for, as she preps an ult into a group of 4 fed enemies only to have immediately buyer's remorse on that last charm. Forced to whip out the Golden Girls routine, and then back to base again for Miss Big Piggy Banks. In teamfights the performance is even more appalling, as she goes from just following the procession without doing anything like she's an expensive float in a parade to being so distracted looking at her skin to realize that she just walked into 3 of them and a laser-equipped statue, which means another feeding loss for Riot's dream customer, and a bit of insight into why they've decided to charge such a stupid amount of money for a skin, because idiots like this are actually paying for it. Rav out.